Well, I made an announcement yesterday morning at 8 o'clock in the morning through my sources that the payments have been made to the terrorists, and we're going to be back on by next 24 hours. And the other networks announced it at 5 o'clock yesterday. From my sources, I understand will be flowing by Monday the latest.
Joining me right now is a person who has view of the impact of the rising fuel costs from the refineries to the pumps to the grocery stores. A man of many titles, United Refining Company Chairman and CEO Gristedes, and D'Agostino Foods President, Chairman and CEO, and Red Apple Group Chairman and CEO, John Catsimatidis. John, it is great to see you this morning. Thanks very much for joining us. So much to talk about, John, from the radical agenda to the issues we're seeing in grocery stores. Give us your take on the Colonial Pipeline and its impact in terms of gasoline prices rising.
Well, it's a situation that there was a very bad situation with cyber attacks. And today it's Colonial Pipeline. Tomorrow it could be our electrical system. The day after it could be our treasury system. We have to be more careful, and we have to get better employees, better agents to monitor these cyber attacks. I suggested we start a West Point type situation, a university to teach cyber attacks. And it is a new warfare in the year 2021. This is warfare against our country on these cyber attacks.
Yeah.
And we have a shortage of technical people and technical agents that can handle it. And if we have a university like a West Point type system where we teach these people to make them experts on cyber attacks, I think our country is going to be better off. They go to the university like a West Point type system and serve the government for 5 years afterwards. Right now, what happens is our agents that were paying $100,000 a year, $150,000 a year, they're being gobbled up by Google, by Facebook, by Twitter for $300,000 a year. So we have a lack of expertise in protecting our country from cyber terrorism. The pipeline, I made an announcement yesterday morning at 8 o'clock in the morning through my sources that the payments have been made to the terrorists. And we're going to be back on by next 24 hours. And the other networks announced it at 5 o'clock yesterday. From my sources, I understand will be flowing by Monday the latest.
Okay, so you say your sources said that they paid ransom. We don't have any confirmation of that in terms of any ransom being paid. That would be a huge deal. You say money has been transferred.
It was very little money.
Your sources.
The original number that was asked for was $100 million. Then they went down to $40 million. Then I understand from my sources that $4 million was paid.
Wow. Well, that's big news. If true, again, we're going to have our team check on that. We don't have any reporting on that, but thank you for passing that on. If true, we will certainly check on that. But look, you are in an incredible position to give us a sense of what all of this means in terms of inflation. Obviously, the Colonial Pipeline situation showed us how vulnerable our energy grid is, and also showed us the need to be energy independent. But there's more to the story. I spoke with the CEO and chairman of Bank of America yesterday, Brian Moynihan, about the rising prices that we're seeing in supermarkets. Here's what he had to say, and I've got to get your take right after this. Listen to Brian Moynihan.
You're seeing those pricing across the board. So you mentioned lumber. You could see it in steel and lumber and wallboard. And people in the construction industry are seeing 1, 2, 3 times price increases over the last several months. You're seeing it in things like resin to make plastic products, and the shortages there. And a lot of it comes out of Texas, and the weather slowed that down, and it still hasn't recovered. You're also seeing we've got to get the ports back fully on stream. And a lot of discussion about the Suez Canal. The reality is the ports in the U.S. need to get fully operational, and they're gaining steam, and that will then help the goods come in and help the economy in the United States. So all that's got to get done.
John, it's getting more expensive. Of course, food is also affected. Look at these numbers. The Consumer Price Index showed fresh vegetables up 1.5% in April. Dairy, meats, other items moving higher. Look, the price of lumber is up 300% year over year. Corn up 100% year over year. John, what are you seeing from your standpoint in the grocery industry?
Maria, that is only the beginning. There's substantial increases coming in the next few months, and I predict that by September, October, you're going to see an annualized rate of about 6%. That means interest rates are going to go up. Gasoline is going to continue to go up. 6 months ago, it was $2 a gallon. Now it's $3 a gallon. I predict that by the summer, it'll be close to $3.30, $3.50 a gallon. With all those price increases, that's going to lead to inflation. That's going to lead to the real interest rates going up. And I'm concerned for our country, but I'm concerned that we have to be able to protect our country. And that's why we need more cyber agents to protect it.
Well, I'm concerned, too. It certainly feels like we are in dangerous waters right now, John. What's behind this move in inflation, in your view? Is this all the free money being thrown at this economy? $6 trillion is what's being talked about just in the last 2 months. We know that $1.9 trillion has already gone through. COVID plan. But President Biden wants another $4 trillion in spending.
It all starts with the cancellation of the Keystone Pipeline and the increase in crude oil prices and gasoline going from 2 to 3. That means all the trucking that goes for food. Food prices are going up. You're going to have airline prices going up, and the crude oil going up, and energy costs going up. It's just rolling down the hill, and it's going to cause the inflation by September, October of 6%.
Wow. All right, John, is there anything we can do to protect ourselves from all of this inflation coming at us?
Well, there's two things we have to do. Like we talked about the cyber agents. The other thing is the bitcoins and that currency is being used by criminals and terrorists. And if there weren't bitcoins and cyber currency, those people would not be able to collect bribes like they do. Last year, $7 billion was collected in terrorism payments for attacks on people's computers and companies' computers. They attacked our computers at one of our companies, and we ended up paying.
Wow. John, thank you very much. John Catsimatidis joining us there on this Ransom story.